Well, here we are once again with Twin Peaks and the bird on the branch with the smokestack coming out of its beak. And
Michelle Brain.
we are the Fargonauts, and we're continuing our Twin Peaks series watch through, and we are on season 2, episode.
Balls deep in season 2 right now.
Yeah, we're like getting close to the end.
We were
Not,
making that creep.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're on episode 14 called
Hell yeah.
Double Play.
Double play. Is it 22 episodes this season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, last episode was Checkmate, and we had a really fun little ending scene where seems like Wyndham Earl or one of his henchmen or something happened where they propped up a dead body strung up to the deer trophy and had a little chess move. He was pointing at the board. And yeah, in that episode, what else did we find out? We found out that they tried to talk to Major Briggs a little bit about his job and things like that.
And what he went through when he disappeared and stuff.
Yeah. Trying to figure out other
And
stuff.
the Air Force or whomever came and they scooped him up.
Yep, they took him away right away. They're like, nope, can't talk to anybody about anything ever. You come with us.
Sorry there, Garland. You're gonna have to keep your mouth shut, buddy.
And then we had some interesting stuff with them doing a sting operation, right? Did that happen?
They did
I don't remember.
Yeah, they did the. They tried to get the deal, like they had what's his name? Oh, what is his name? Was it George?
Jean Reno?
Yeah, George and doing the meet with Jean when he was wearing the wire.
Yeah, and then Denise shows up with some pancakes or something like that, and then pulls up her little double R dress, and then Cooper shoots at Jean and fatally wounds him while the other guys breach in, looking all badass with their guns drawn and everything like that. So yeah, we're gonna see the aftermath of all that, hopefully, in this episode. So without further ado, just want to say thanks for sticking with us as we watch through Twin Peaks. If you like this, hit that like button and subscribe for more of our content. You might like a lot of our other things that we've talked about. We do movie reviews, we do video game playthroughs, we just shoot the shit and play with AI. So yeah, whatever tickles your pickle, you can subscribe and check out what we have to offer.
Tickus the pickus.
Tickus as the pickus.
Important part of the pickling process is the tickling.
It makes it so sweet and sour, you know?
Tenderizes it a little bit.
Gives it that snap, you know.
Oh my gosh, you guys. What a great episode, don't you think?
Well, that was pretty cool. It was kind of all
What do you
over the
mean?
place.
That was a great ending.
That
You
was a
said
good
that.
end.
You said that weird. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just starting recording.
What are you doing over there?
So we finally got a reveal of Wyndham Earl, and he talks. And before we were discussing this episode, Wilson had a dream about him. Isn't that like kind of serendipitous and like sort of like par for the course for like talking about David Lynch stuff? Is like if you start dreaming about things and then something it manifests into like reality.
Played a shrimp, dude.
Yeah, Garmin Bozia, Wilson's full of it, and then you fucking
No. Oh, I hate cream corn. Just give me regular corn. I'll just eat the corn.
Just give me regular corn.
I don't need pain and sorrow, okay? I just need the corn.
Cream it. Just give me the
Just
corn.
give me the corn.
Just give me the corn.
Yeah, this was a really good episode. I really enjoyed this one. It wasn't as all over the place as the last one, which was Checkmate. There's just like a bunch of random stuff.
Still kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but
a little more
was
focused.
It was
a little bit
focused.
jumpy.
It was jumpy, but it's the things that it jumped to were relating to like a bigger picture kind of idea, and like they kind of put the nail in the coffin with James' story, which is like cool, done,
Thanks,
stupid,
guys.
and done. So like that was great. I was like, okay, cool, we're done. Donna came to the rescue, and she's like, James, this story's going nowhere. Let's get out of here. What show did you like jump into? Like we're in Twin Peaks. We're not in this like murder.
Yeah, it's like
It's a
we're
Columbo
gonna put a
episode.
soap opera within Twin Peaks now.
Yeah, soap opera / Columbo episode where it's like, hold on a minute. You say you
Bumbo did.
Just one more thing.
just
dear
one more
man.
thing. You said his brakes were faulty.
You
Who
said
do you
that
have working on the brakes?
there was this moody figure who was living with you for a little bit. I'm just trying to get the story straight. If you could just help clear this up for me.
It would be great. I gotta get home to my wife. She hates when I'm late for dinner.
There is it just is it just doesn't matter for so many reasons.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Maybe it would feel a little bit more consequential if it was actually happening, like, yeah, still within Twin Peaks, but like, you know, on the edge of town where this kooky old rich guy lives, or you know, it's just weird that he's not there, not with anybody who matters. Ugh,
Yeah,
riddance to that storyline.
and then the last scene from the last episode of Checkmate, it was one of the last scenes where Shelley was encountering Leo with a bunch of like cake and shit on his face,
Frank and Leo.
but
Cake and shit.
somehow he just like he doesn't have that much cake on his face anymore. He's just got some scuffs, a little bit of
It's like
jelly.
or something.
yeah. But he was so
Like,
caked up. He was caked up in the last
Oh, he's
episode.
caked up, dude. I don't know. Maybe he ate the cake and the jelly is all that's left.
He's like, oh, yum, that was some good cake.
Oh, I put jelly on my cake.
That scene was kind of interesting. I didn't like the music in this episode.
You mean in this scene
In this scene, it was kind of jarring.
with those drums, those like Star Trek esque?
Yes, it was like it was like the studio quality, or it's like not great quality, but like they didn't have
synthesized for sure.
Yeah, they didn't have access to a lot of like good thriller
It is-
music.
It is like early '90s. The sound of synthesized instruments was definitely like changing or going through. There was a lot of like there was a lot of that like do it at home or like easy to use synthesized stuff, and it all sounded so cheap.
Yeah, I did like a lot of other tracks, like when Pete met up with Catherine and they introduced Andy back into this storyline. They were playing some actual like classical song that wasn't, definitely not Angelo playing, but it was like a notable classic song.
That's not Angelo's style, dude.
No,
Right.
yeah, for the most part, we got some closure on the Nikki issue with these guys.
There was that speaking of music, there was that alternate Laura's theme that played when
Yes.
Doc Hayward was giving that explanation about Nikki. It was just like a different key and another synthesized instrument, like a harp sounding thing.
Yep, kind of like a lullaby mix
Almost
of
like
it.
like toy or music box esque.
And so I think that's putting that story to bed a little bit.
Yeah, it must be putting the little Nikki stuff to bed, because since we literally got like Wyndham Earl in this episode finally,
Yeah.
it seems like they're trying to clear the table for upcoming because maybe next episode Annie will actually be introduced, so they're like clearing the way for new stuff to be brought in.
Yeah, I think that could be it. And then they did also clear up this storyline with the Black Widow chick and this brother of the mayor, or whatever they call him.
Yep.
My brother.
This is the mayor. His
Yeah.
brother ran the paper.
Right. So now they're together, and she's reminded of her late husband through this guy, obviously.
Yeah, like this major not major, but like this focus that is happening or has been happening over the past couple episodes on her and the death of her husband and stuff, and this weird curse and attraction to her, that's going to drop off majorly. But she's still going to stick around, and I think there's still going to be a little bit more development of like this relationship or this situation or something.
Okay. Yeah, I remember we talked about that a little bit, that she sticks around in the show for a bit.
I'm pretty sure she's there until like the end. She may not, appear in episode 22, but she's pretty much there right up until the end. If I'm remembering correctly.
That's got to be an old gun. Look at that.
Because episode 21 or 22, one of them is either called or takes place. Like the major thing of that episode is the Miss Twin Peaks pageant. She's
Yep.
part of that.
That's episode 21, Miss Twin Peaks. But yeah, we got some Jacobus coming in here, kind of playing a bunch of round robin stuff. He shows up to take care or do a psych eval, I guess, of the Black Widow chick, and then he did a kind of like a psych eval of our Benny boy, Benji.
Are we sure about that?
I mean, he was there. Like, what was he doing? Was he just like?
He was perched high up on this stack of books.
Was it books? Because yeah, he looked like he
Or-
was being a
I don't-
lifeguard
I
or
don't know
something.
exactly what he was sitting on.
Yeah, he's like, looks like he's being a lifeguard up there.
It almost like it's just weird that Ben being is supposedly his patient here.
Yeah,
But it's not like Ben came to him and was like, "Oh, you got to come help me, doc." It seems like Jacoby just like kind of like heard about this from Audrey or just wandered into the office one day and was like, "Oh shit, this is going on," and just like sat down, got himself his popcorn, and is just watching. Now it's like, are you really doing this for his benefit, or are you just doing this for yours?
no, it's always for his benefit, because I think what he likes to take away from these like psychotic episodes is like, oh, I could probably use this as like, material for my future book or something. So he like takes all these things in, and definitely not gonna use his information to help Ben. He's just like, oh, I'm just gonna witness what's happening here. This
Yeah,
like digression.
It might feel a little bit different if he actually wasn't that high up and was like on the ground, or if we saw him not just like writing on a notepad, but actually like, very close to Ben and putting his hands on his shoulders and talking to him in a way of being like, "Hey, what's going on?" Or just having a dialogue with him and giving him some more clear, at least, care in that kind of way.
Yeah, I don't think Jacoby gives a shit.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
Because he even like joins in when he's like, he
He's
grabs
one who starts singing.
yeah, he starts grabbing the flag when Ben does. It's so bizarre.
The big fish always
Oh, yeah.
presiding over these big moments.
This scene too. What are we supposed to take away from him walking in so dehydrated and just like, oh, oh,
Well, he's like
give
he's
me
going
the-"
through it after his abduction because they already documented in the show that he's got that like mark on him.
Oh,
So he's like fucked up and discombobulated from what happened to him.
okay.
Right.
So every so often he'll have like an episode.
Yeah, it almost feels like what was happening with Mike, where Mike would just like kind of have those flashes of just like, it's either that or yeah, maybe when Major Briggs gets like agitated, he just gets like wispy and frail and is like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so faint after what has happened to me." I don't know. He's just
He
seems
becomes like
ill.
a Southern belle. He's like, oh, dear mercy me.
This flower is a wilted.
Yeah, what did you guys think? Tell me scenes or parts that you liked, I guess.
Um,
Well, I liked the scene with Big Ed sitting in the Double R diner because he got some yummy, big. He got whatever, I don't know what kind of meat it was, but
He
he
got
got
big-
big meat. He got veggies. He got extra mashed potatoes, and he got a slice
you
of
got
pie,
that big meat, dude.
and it looked good.
I wonder where that was. That was pretty. I don't know. There it is.
Yeah, I did not like the James stuff. I'm glad that it's over.
I
Like
liked the
Gil.
I liked the overly horny scene with the Black Widow girl.
She like everybody's like just looking at her legs dance when they walk in the room.
Yeah.
She's just
And
moving her legs
Jacoby's
around.
whole description of her just being like, this person, the person that I'm referencing here, let me tell you what I've learned here. A huge sexual appetite. She knows how to touch and all this stuff. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no kidding. Like,
What does that have to do with anything?
why do we give a shit, dude? Like, she's well. I think he was debunking the idea that she's cursed or something. And I mean, that'll come to play more, I'm sure. But yeah, like, I think he was trying to white knight her a little bit because
He was. But
let's
that
go
just-
bowling.
It did just turn into him just spouting off like basically why she should be coveted by men while they are all standing looking at her covetously.
Exactly.
It just is what it is, dude. I don't know what why it is that way, but it is.
Just is what it is.
It is what it is in the Twin Peaks region. Dale's wearing his badge
They're
on
just
top
yeah.
of his shirt.
They made such a note to show her like moving her feet around, and there's like, yep, that's quite a long stare at her feet.
Right.
And they're just like, yep.
Yep.
These dudes are just like, hell yeah. Have you seen those memes where it's just like a picture of something and then it says a caption saying, "Men will look at this and just say, hell yeah." And it's just like a random picture of like, I don't know, a military strategy like formation or something like that. Like men will look at this and just think, hell yeah. That's what they're looking at right now. They're like, men will look at this chick and just think, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what else. What else was there that was captivating? Because I do want to dive into this threat that came about in the final moments and what it could potentially mean.
Well, if you care about this half of it, the like whole revelation of Catherine's brother being alive and being like a co-conspirator in her schemes to, maybe like fuck over Ben or to take over the mill or X, Y, or Z or any of the shit that she's been up to. He's the Dapper Dan that's been like helping her with it or behind it all or having some involvement.
Right.
That was kind of interesting. Like Catherine is playing this kind of 3D chess with Ben, just conniving and getting what she wants. It's kind of interesting. Like she plays the Game of Thrones pretty well.
Catherine Martell versus fucking Cersei Lannister.
Hey man, she's part of the Martell family, so
Well, I don't remember exactly when we first hear about it, but like I know that earlier in the show they cover a couple times that like Josie's husband was killed in some sort of boating accident.
oh yeah.
So it's like established that this dude is dead. It's Catherine's brother, etc., etc. So we're supposed to like have some familiarity with at least who this person was,
Yeah.
but it is like because he's going to be around for a while. He's going to be a big schemer and big doer of things. And even Pete's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it."
Yeah. Do you remember the name something or other? And he's like, no. And then we find out that person's here.
That's a great little place to have a screen cap here.
Yeah. I forgot this dude's name. What was it?
Look, revving up your engine, being the bad guy in Tron. Oh, Thomas Eckhart.
Thomas Eckhart. And
Throwing glowing frisbees. Tearing
Glowing
it up with
frisbees?
Jeff Bridges.
what a cool guy. Look at that turn. What a sassy man. Just look at my coat.
That's David Warner.
Yeah. We lost
It is
him
not.
pretty recently too.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, that'll happen.
Yeah, well, that's the life of Twin Peaks, man. I mean, there's not a lot of the cast left.
Bruce Boxleiter
That do be
is still
true.
around.
That's true.
Fucking Russ Tamlin's like 89 years old.
Mm-hmm. Prush Tamblin. When he's from the Eastern Bloc, call him Prush Tamblin.
Russ Tamlin.
All right, so now we're gonna get into this the finale portions of what happened, and don't really give a shit about.
Strangely,
Yeah, I don't care about this.
it is weird how Donna is like so immediately right fucking there.
Yeah, well, I think she kind of talked that girl's ear off at the bar, saying like, "I miss James," and then basically it's like, "I love him so much. We went through so much together. We lost our best friends, and maybe she felt a lot of emotions, like, oh my gosh, you've been through shit. I'm sorry, I'm doing like a really mean thing to James right now, and he has no clue
like-
because he's such a dunce."
Clearly,
You're
there's
such a
like
dum-dum.
some interaction there. I just mean like, it's really really weird how we open this in that scene of like just James in his little room that he's staying in, like packing his stuff.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving. It's wrong. And he leaves. And then Donna is like 2 steps outside of the door of the place that he's at, where it's like, isn't this place away? It's just weird.
yeah.
The timing of it is a little weird. You would expect it. Maybe he has to get down the road a little bit, and then he runs into her. I don't know.
So yeah, now Leo got away after being stabbed by Shelley in the calf or something like that. So he was wandering through the woods in the wilderness, and now he's stumbled upon this shack in the woods after seeing like really eerie scenery that comes through, and that's really ominous to reveal Wyndham Earl just in the shadows, just
Silhouetted,
looking
just
super creepy.
playing his flute.
Yeah, he's got so many different flutes too.
All the stuff like hanging down here, just looking kind of like it's all flesh colored and just
Yeah, that's
What is
really gross too. Yeah, it's like used bandages or something.
his clothes are like worn in, like he's been sleeping in those clothes for like a few days,
Oh yeah, he's got that bed head too. Like,
but he's still wearing like a suit, and he's got the little American flag pin as if he's wearing it's like he's put on a costume of a FBI agent, you know what I mean? But he's like, I guess he is fresh out of the insane asylum or wherever he was being kept, so he kind of has just put on a costume, and he might have just stolen this from some random person.
yeah, he's got a great chess set too. I just noticed that. Those are some good figures there. But yeah, so we got the first sighting and voice of Wyndham Earl. Do you recall when he was brought up first in this series?
It was season
Off the
2.
top of my head.
It was season 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was season 2 that he was first brought up. I'm trying to remember like what that context would have been.
Okay.
So I think something about maybe Gordon Cole is like on the phone or the speakerphone one of those times is like, Coop, I gotta tell you it's about Gordon, it's about Wyndham Earl or some shit like that. And then maybe that's one of the first times he's mentioned.
Okay.
Mm.
In this episode, we get Wyndham, and we get some discussions about. It was between Dale and Harry. They were talking about
Their
what
history.
went down and the history behind it, and what that all meant to Dale. And I guess, how it drove Wyndham insane to kill Dale's lover and his own wife, Wyndham Earl's wife, or something like that. And at least that's what Cooper believes, is that, yeah, Wyndham Earl committed the horrendous murder. Because, I mean, he's taking the evidence from the specific stab wound that was on the vagrant that they found doing the chess move. That's definitely a good sign, because then he's like, oh, he's putting two and two together. Like, the same mark was on this girl's body, too. So, yeah, this guy is definitely... I could say he's probably possessed by another entity. Or I'd like to think that, knowing all these other people that have been killers in this show. Or have, done kind of scary things, or just things that are out of the, not the ordinary, just weirdos.
Right.
So he's kind of that fringe character now. He's taken the part of Leland or Mike or Jean Reno even, because there has been imagery before Leo got into the cabin of an owl swooping down, and that whenever you see owls, that's always a bad sign, at least from what we've seen before.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's something more to the Wyndham Earl, and there's something behind that pleasant face. He's wanting to do something to Leo. I think there's a lot of evidence we can point to, being like, oh, this is just another vagrant for me to use for another murder diorama for Cooper.
Right.
At least that's what I would think if I'm watching this for the first time. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. There's that man. Making his stinky in his little cabin.
Oh, did I make a stinky?
Well, it's just
Oh, my
the way that the fate that he ends up with at the end of this is just like interesting. It's like, I don't know. We'll talk about it more later, but he's a fun character, I think.
Yeah, like
this Wyndham guy.
He definitely, like I said before, is like the Moriarty to Cooper's Sherlock. There's a lot of truth there, because even Cooper, he said something really interesting in this episode. His line was basically like, Wyndham Earl is like a diamond. He's hard. He's brilliant. He's multifaceted. I don't know. Like, he said all these things that was an analogy of a diamond, which was like, oh, that's interesting. He's beautiful. He sparkles in the night.
Beautiful. He doesn't shine, fucking Rihanna. He reflects light that is cast upon him. He does not create light himself. He said about Wyndham. Dale said about Wyndham that he was his first partner in the FBI. They played chess every day for 3 years, and he never once beat him. And he called him like a genius, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
They got some history then, that.
Well, it's just like it's curious that so many things in fucking Twin Peaks, the entire show is like Ed and Norma having a extramarital affair, or even Ben Horn and Mama Hayward, and like this, and Catherine. It's just full of like all these romantic trysts happening, and romantic triangles and stuff like that. And the thing that Dale is like, the darkest thing about his past is his own dalliance with that, like his own like stepping outside of He also was going through his own soap opera at one point.
That's true. Yeah. And all
So
these
nobody.
things end in like murder or like being maimed.
Yeah, and yeah, even that affair like ended with like, oh, somebody getting murdered, somebody going off to an insane asylum. It's not just like,
Or just getting in danger. Just some kind of danger.
yeah,
If you fall in love in this show, there will be danger. Everybody's relationship. I mean,
careful
just
Donna, careful James.
well, yeah, there's been danger around them too.
She had to deal with a weird agoraphobe, and he had to go uh, deal with a cougar and her strange weird brother.
Yeah, and yeah,
These
it's
are the
it's
things
kind
that
of
will happen to
interesting.
you in during young love.
Have you been through that same situation growing up?
They're in high school. They're just high schoolers, dude. They're just like, it's more understandable or like relatable at the beginning of the show when it's like, oh, James, you were dating, or no, what was it? Oh, yeah. So Laura and Bobby used to date, but then at the beginning of the show, Laura and James were like dating right before she died, like right when she died, I think. But Donna had been seeing James. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Now I have to keep thinking in that mindset when we watch episodes, or even like looking back. But like when we watched Checkmate last time, the love triangle or trysts, that were happening was like, Norma and Big Ed, and then
Josie
Hank
and
shows up, and then Nadine pops in, and then fights Hank, not even knowing who Hank is, and just like kicking his ass. Like, you touch my Big Ed, you're dead.
you touch my
Touch
big head,
my
you're gonna be
big
big
head.
dead.
Exactly. So like, yeah, and with this Black Widow thing, like there's love that follows her, but there's also death that follows her. I think there's something to that.
It's just it's if we have moments in this show of like what would you maybe call it, elevated darkness or elevated horror or spookiness or something like that, why not also have moments that go like 11 out of 10 when it comes to romance, or maybe just like quirkiness, of
Yeah.
like the dude doing the little dance in the hallway, or God, just these little moments of like that are supposed to be like charming and like fun. Everything is cranked up to 11. Even the weird stuff, the bad stuff, but also like the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, but there's also, I remember us talking about it in last episode where Major Briggs was very, wholesome. He's very much of a really good husband and father, or he tries to be at least. So he's on the straight and narrow, and he's probably the archetypical like perfect form of the father figure in this show, because everybody else is very corrupt with their history, or just they're lusting after each other, or their conflicting natures. I mean, look at just Andy and
We we
Dick.
even, as of this episode, we've learned that even Dale's not immune from that. Like he's on that list of like, oh, he he slept around with somebody else's wife.
Yep. So he's like he's not living up to that White Lodge state of mind, where we have Major Briggs. He deals with these horrific events or these things that test his mental fortitude, but he always comes back to it really strong-willed and still like, hey, I'm in the right state of mind. I love my wife, I love my kid. He's keeping that down. Like he got it. But everybody else is really like pulled in all these different directions with their love life or their mental breakdowns. With Ben, like being I don't know, he's been through the ringer by Catherine and everything, and now he's just kind of he's broken mentally reverting back into a Civil War state of mind. So everybody has breaking points when it comes to like their love and their relationships, except for Major Briggs, in my opinion. He's just got. I think he has been tested a lot, and then they just keep testing him and making sure that he's got a good brain and good mind on him. And I think that's why when we talked about him, getting dehydrated, that's partly due to it. He's like, oh god, this is too stressful. I gotta get a drink. I'm so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. He's got so much going on for him right now.
he doesn't have time to fuck around.
No.
He's just trying to find out. So yeah, that's our theories, or my theories at least, with talking about everybody in Twin Peaks. And I guess we can, when she's brought up again, or when she comes back in, Log Lady, we can talk about that relationship, because that's also really interesting. And I guess Hawk, to an extent, he doesn't really have a connection to anybody romantically that we've seen, other than him wanting to, I guess, maybe put the moves on the Black Widow.
Right.
But that's about it. So yeah, if that's all you guys want to say about this episode, we will be back with the episode 15.
Woo!
Can you take a guess on what that's called?
Episode 15.
Yeah.
It's Queen's Gambit.
No, this one has not anything to do with a chess move or a baseball move.
Wyndham Earl.
It's called Slaves and Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ben gonna be
It's more Ben Civil War stuff, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there will be an element to that. Hopefully that gets done soon too. Well, I mean, I hope they play with that idea more, or he snaps out of some kind of funk he's in. But yeah, that should be definitely an interesting watch. Slaves and Masters. Oh, yeah. So we will be back next time watching Slaves and Masters. Hope everybody enjoyed this one. Leave comments below. Your theories, your thoughts, anything else you want to ask. And make sure to hit the like button and be notified. Hit that bell, and we'll
Hit that rail.
Hit that well.
Yeah, hope to continue this discussion further with the boys and with everybody watching. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back next
I'm
time.
gonna be here for more Twin Peaks with the boys. Will you? It's an open-ended question. You don't have to answer.
I wasn't gonna.
It'd be weird if you answered, because then you'd be talking to your computer or phone or whatever you watch YouTube videos on.
Yeah, you could type your answer in if you want to.
Into whatever field you're able to type into.
Yeah. Just text it to your mom.
Google.
Amazon. Yeah, text it to somebody.
All right, everybody. See you later. Be back later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.